Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American horror slasher film from 2017, titled Leatherface. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The film opens in rural Texas in 1955 at the Sawyer household, where the family matriarch, Verna Sawyer, is hosting a birthday party for the youngest member of the family, Jedediah. As a gift and a way to initiate him into the family's gruesome traditions, Jed is given a chainsaw and pressured by his relatives, Drayton, Grandpa, and Nubbins, to torture a man they accuse of trying to steal one of their pigs. However, Jed hesitates and refuses to harm the man, and frustrated, Drayton grabs Jed's hands and forces him to cut the man's thigh. When Jed is about to finish the job, he drops the chainsaw and runs to Verna, visibly disturbed. With a signal from Verna, Grandpa steps in and kills the man with a hammer to the head. The scene then shifts to a young couple, Betty and Ted, driving through the Sawyers' territory. As they travel, they spot what appears to be a wounded pig lying in the road. Betty steps out of the car to investigate, only to realize that it is actually a child dressed in a pig carcass. The child looks at Betty and pleads for help before suddenly running into the woods, and despite Ted's warning, Betty follows after him.
Betty, where'd you get off to?
She follows the child to a rundown barn, but when she steps inside, she finds it empty. Suddenly, the child startles her, causing her to lose her balance and fall into a deep pit. The police intervene to break up the confrontation. Later, while in the bathroom, Lizzie hears groaning from one of the stalls. She investigates and discovers a deranged inmate named Clarice attempting to force a live rat into another inmate's mouth. The incident between Ike and Bud is reported to Dr. Lang, who assures Lizzie that he will speak with both of them. However, Lizzie defends Bud, explaining that he was only trying to protect her, and Dr. Lang leaves the chamber. As the riot spreads, many nurses and patients are killed in the violence. Amid the mayhem, Verna and Farnsworth are forcibly removed from the building, with Verna failing to find Jed. Back in the ECT chamber, as the two orderlies become distracted by the ongoing chaos, Bud seizes the opportunity to break free. He overpowers them and as a murderous teen attacks and kills the nurse. Before the teen can harm Lizzie, Jackson intervenes just in time and saves her, and the two then flee the facility. However, they are captured by Ike and Clarice, who force them into their getaway vehicle. As the couple speeds away from the reformatory, they come across a bloodied Bud, who has just killed Dr. Lang, and they decide to take him with them. The group eventually stops at a secluded location, where they change into fresh clothes. Ike finally lets Jackson and Lizzie out of the car's trunk. However, after yet another failed escape attempt, Ike warns Lizzie and Jackson that he will kill them, as well as Bud, if anyone tries escaping again. The next day, Sheriff Hartman arrives at the reformatory crime scene, where he meets Trooper Sorrells of the Texas State Police. Confident in his suspicions, Hartman tells Sorrells that he knows exactly who is responsible for the massacre. A manhunt is launched for the escapees, and Hartman makes it clear, when they are found, there should be no mercy. Meanwhile, Ike and Clarice force Jackson, Lizzie, and Bud to accompany them to Seamburst's barbecue, where they plan to steal weapons, money, and another vehicle. Inside the restaurant, Ike and Clarice begin fooling around, drawing unwanted attention from the patrons. Spotting a gun on one of the customers, Clarice and Ike quickly devise a plan. To create a distraction, they stir up trouble, leading to an altercation with a waitress named Tammy. Ike and Clarice suddenly snap, turning the situation into a bloodbath as they go on a violent killing spree. The lovers force the terrified patrons at gunpoint to drop their money and belongings, which Clarice collects. Ike shifts his attention to Tammy and brutally kills the wounded waitress with a shotgun. One of the patrons, who had been previously attacked by Jackson, pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the group. In the crossfire, Bud is shot while trying to stop Lizzie from escaping.